Hi, welcome to the Marketing Podcast. I'm Brendan Quigley.
And I'm Heather Watson.
I see I can do it.
There you go.
I can do the intro.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so amazing.
It's amazing. We're all about equality here. Who's doing the intro? I love us. This is great.
So we don't talk about what we're about to say. We just go into the first article.
No, you're gonna start like, Happy Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving,
Okay.
Heather?
All right, just leave a little thing of silence. Happy Thanksgiving, Heather. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was amazing.
Awesome. Did you eat a lot of turkey? Do you do turkey?
We do turkey. We do a big family feast that involves 5 families coming, like 5 main families, which is now several sub-families coming together in a potluck style.
So there's a pig and a turkey and a cow.
It's kind of a big deal. Yeah. And lots of meat. And there's no vegetables, salads. It's like, I mean, there are, but it seems like... No salads.
That's my kind of meal.
Right? No, it's like we fill up on appetizers, we eat a lot of meat, and then we go for dessert. It's kind of our Thanksgiving. I mean, we'll have like the tokenary bowl of corn a salad for somebody who wants them. You know, we'll make the kids eat that stuff.
Yeah. The kids' table is just salad and leafy greens.
Yeah, you can't have dessert unless you eat your vegetables, which means there's going to be more dessert for me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much our thing, and we like 40 of us get together and have a big shindig.
We're a young family, and we're always being asked to attend multiple gatherings around Thanksgiving. So we spend most of our Thanksgiving trying to avoid too much driving and too much late nights.
Yeah. We used to have that at Christmas time. There was like 5 Christmases, and it was like each one we were showing up late to and leaving early from to get to the next.
Yeah, and then
we're beyond that now.
And then the kids are getting presents everywhere they go.
It's they start. It's an expectation. Where's my stuff? By the time you get to house number 5,
and by the time you get to Christmas, you're just like, nope, I'm not buying you anything.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And what are we talking about today? Today, I've fondly named the anti-advertising edition, which is awesome because we're all about marketing, and we shouldn't be about anti-advertising, but it seems like everybody is.
Well, but we're marketing to people, and most people don't like advertising.
Fair enough.
So I would say that there's a good way to market where you're not, making people upset.
Okay.
Making them feel. Our first article comes from The Consumerist. It's called Good News, Chrome and Safari will soon mute autoplay videos.
Oh.
And I can hear the chorus of clapping and especially students who have had the experience of not actually doing their schoolwork while in a lecture. And then the autoplay video kicks in, and everyone knows, like, you weren't looking up some video about whatever you're studying.
Or in an office. Same kind of thing.
Same office, yeah. The cubicle at the left over there just starts playing something.
You're like, you panic. How do I turn this off?
That's the thing, right? So it's not only bad that you land on a website and a video auto plays, but, like, there's never an easy way to turn it off. Like, you end up just shutting everything down in an attempt
unplugging.
Yeah, in an attempt to switch it off. You're just like, nope, and close and close and close and close, and oh, I got it. Good, it's gone.
So what's going on then? If it's so they're just turning it off, they're muting it.
Yeah.
Just in Chrome. Oh, and Safari.
So Safari's going to be doing it soon. So, like, it is an option. So, like, if you like the autoplay, whoever you are, you can turn it on, but by default, it will mute the autoplay.
I'd like to wait. We need to back up. If anybody likes the autoplay, please let me know. Hit us up on the Twitter at @themarketingpod_, or send us a note, drop a comment at themarketingpodcast.com.
Please give reasons why.
I really want to understand if you do, and maybe I might never like you again.
Like,
just be
autoplay
wary of that.
Is right up there with music on your website for me.
Aren't they? Yeah.
And the music's almost worse because it's like autoplay is like, great, that video is autoplaying. if it autoplays without audio, we're good, but it's when it autoplays with audio that you're freaking out, which is what's happening here with Chrome. But it's when you land on a website and it just starts playing music.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you can't, because the play pause is like in the bottom corner and it's like phased out.
Yeah.
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 No need.
No
Actually,
need.
If you think there's a need, I'd like to know when you think there's a need.
Tell us
Zero
that.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're taking it out, the auto. So is it taking away the autoplay or just the sound? No, we're just muting autoplay videos.
Yeah, I believe they're pausing the autoplay video, so they won't actually let the video play. So it's not just the sound; it's the video as well.
Okay.
So it's very similar to like Click to Run. I don't know if you've ever had those. I've had those plugins installed since I could find them. And basically, if there's like a video content on a page, you have to allow it to play instead of it just automatically playing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to be baking this in default to Chrome,
Mm-hmm.
and Safari will be soon to follow.
Okay, and it says if you prefer to have them play automatically, you can tell Chrome that you want it. Right.
Yeah, you can't tell it. So, like, this is an obvious one. What does this mean for advertisers? Well, the advertisers, please don't force your content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's deeper than that, actually. I think from a marketing perspective, you'll get real data.
Yes.
Because, a play is a play is a play, whether somebody's scrolling past, panicking, trying to turn it off, or somebody actually wants to play it. Now, advertisers are upset in the industry because, of course, they want to barrage users with the videos. But I think personally, in the end, it'll at least be better quality data because it's people who have actually clicked on the video to play the video, as opposed to somebody freaking out because they didn't want the video to play and trying to shut it down.
Yeah, and I think too, like when the video auto plays, I remember who you were and where it was, and that negatively impacts the brand. It's not helping you by having your advertisement auto play on someone's computer.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm home alone and I'm at my desk and I'm working and something auto plays, I'm like, what is it? Like it throws you off, and I don't like it. So I think, especially advertisement, because like we said, people don't like advertisement. Especially advertisement, when you do it, it's got to be purposeful. It's got to be in the correct places, relevant. It's got to be to your audience. You can't just hit up everyone who lands on this page with an audio and expect it to boost sales.
Mm-hmm.
If things were that simple, if it was as easy as that, we'd all be rich.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I think it's interesting too. We might once again see, or maybe not, the removal of captions on video, right? Because if the only way I can play the video is to click on the video, then I'll get the audio and video experience as opposed to simply reading the captions that advertisers have put on the video to make somebody turn the sound on. Yeah,
now you bring up a good point there too. Like I wonder how this is going to affect Facebook. So
right.
It doesn't mention that in the article in terms of will Facebook.
Well, if it's through the Chrome browser.
This is what I mean.
Right.
And so Facebook has done all sorts of stuff to try to get people's attention. And one of the things that's happened recently there, if you're in your feed on your phone or on the computer and you unmute a video because you're interested, you want to hear the audio, and then just keep scrolling, every other video's unmuted. But then if you mute again, every video is muted.
Right.
So it's like a global mute for your
experience at that point.
You know what? It makes a bit of sense. If you're scrolling through your feed and you're in a place where you can't have audio, mute the whole thing. If you're scrolling through your feed and you're at home and you are able to have the audio, you unmute it, then you start to get the benefit of some of these videos with audio. Now, if Safari and Chrome come along and make it another block that this doesn't happen, I wonder how that will impact Facebook's decision. Maybe they just get rid of the ability to mute all the videos. Maybe every video plays with audio because most people are going in Safari and Chrome, and then so I'm curious how this will affect Facebook, how one major decision is going to affect another major company.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, and just on another note, forget the audio part for a second. There's a little part of me that gets irked when a video auto plays on anything if I'm using my data on my cell phone.
Yes.
If I'm just surfing the web, and I'm choosing to surf the web using my data, and data, as we talked about in the last episode, in Canada is ridiculously expensive.
Yep.
So all of a sudden a video is streaming, and I don't want that, right?
Yeah.
And that, as a user, I appreciate the ability to not pull that.
It's true. I run an ad blocker at home that works at the router, so all of my devices go through the ad blocker, and it gives me stats on how many ads it's blocked and how much data it's blocked. It's actually, every ad's going to be optimized, but I mean, we hit so many ads on a daily basis, it starts to add up, and video obviously contributes to that more.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will block GIFs. Do you think GIFs are done?
Oh, they're not real videos.
They're not real videos.
Maybe advertising will become GIFs.
Well, I've seen. I have. That's because you can create a short video that loops.
Yeah. Bring back Vine.
Yeah, bring. But
you mentioned you mentioned about the using an ad blocker, and it's funny because that's a great segue into our next piece, where Ad Week is talking about how the also released in the latest iOS is Apple blocking cookies in Safari browser. Brendan, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, specifically tracking cookies.
Okay.
So, to touch on what I was saying about relevance, one of the tools that advertisers will use to try to create some relevance is to target their ads by tracking users. So one of the most common ways is to put what they call a Facebook pixel on your site. So it's a little bit of code that sits on your site that when anyone who's logged into Facebook visits your site, you can add that user to a list and then retarget to them.
Right.
So this is happening at a larger scale with more than just Facebook, with cookies. And so they can put a little cookie on your computer and track you across websites. And they start to, it's anonymized, so it doesn't have your name attached to it, but they start to learn that you as a user, these are the sites that you visit, and they can track and advertise to that user based on, and a lot of it's either AdWords, Facebook, this type of thing, your previous tracked browser history or whatever you want to look at. And so what's happening here with Safari is that Safari is going to block these tracking cookies. And we were, I dove a little deeper into it there. We were looking at Engadget as well, and they were trying to break down the different types of cookies. So to be clear, this isn't the cookie that remembers your password to a website,
right,
that lets you automatically sign in. This is the cookie that advertisers will put in their ads to track you across multiple sites.
Right.
And so the every major advertiser is upset that Apple is going to block these cookies. Their argument is it's going to hurt the user experience.
Right.
Because to be clear, it's not like Apple's going to stop ads from showing. They're just going to stop the ability for targeted ads to show in the Safari browser.
Right.
And so will that hurt the user? I don't know. Will it hurt sales on those targeted ads? I think so.
I think so, yeah. I think I saw somewhere where it said that the user can, so it automatically is by default where it blocks, right?
Yeah.
And then the user can turn it on again. Yeah. So, I mean, how many users are actually going to turn it on? Because they don't really know that it's been by default. A lot of people are, using their hardware out of the box as it is. They're not digging deep saying, oh, look, here's an opportunity for me to see advertising. I'd be like the only person to do that.
Yeah.
Because I like advertising, which is crazy. But it's interesting, though. I kind of wonder the why. Why is Apple doing this? Because they're taking this line that ad tracking technology has become so pervasive that it is possible for ad tracking companies to recreate the majority of a person's web browsing history. And that's what Apple is saying in defense of this move. So the information is collected without permission and is used for ad retargeting, which is what you said, which is how ads follow us around. Why does Apple care about that?
Okay, so Apple's known for taking stances on things, and one of the stances that they're taking here is they're saying that users will are they don't have the same amount of trust when they feel tracked, and so that they say this practice of tracking, even though it's so common, everybody does it, that users lose trust
right
when that happens, and
I
it
think
hurts
all
their experience.
users feel like it's a little creepy,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
that's
gosh.
really what it comes down to. They did a search and all of a sudden they're getting ads on something relevant to that search.
So I forget the name of the guy who did this, and I'm sorry, guy who did this, but back when Facebook advertising first started, he targeted his roommate.
Right.
So this was before, you can't do this, you can't do it as specific anymore, but back when the first tool started to come out for this kind of Facebook targeted ad, he only targeted his roommate for like 3 weeks.
Right.
And the roommate thought that someone was like giving his information to the CIA. It was so
Right.
specific.
Next time, shut the fridge.
Basically, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just creepy. But I mean, like, it's still happening. It's just you can target everybody like your roommate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you could still do that. It's just you'd catch another 1,000 people in the crosshairs.
Sure. So Apple really just cares about making users feel less creeped out? Or are they doing it to keep up with Chrome because Chrome is doing this? And I guess that's kind of moot. I mean, what it really comes down to is it's advertisers now, or organizations that represent advertisers
Yep.
are now pitted against Apple. And it's like the advertisers have content. Apple through Safari is the delivery of that content.
Yeah.
And now they don't have a way to get that content through to the users. And those groups that are representing advertisers are saying that that's going to hurt consumers because they won't know what choices are available to them anymore.
Well, to be honest, what I'm waiting for is the Apple option. You know, so we're going to break your targeting ability, but if you follow our guidelines and give us ads that we approve, we'll let you target based on this.
Right.
And I'll bring it in briefly, but Chrome is going to maybe do this, where they're going to build an ad blocker into Google Chrome, which is kind of funny because Google's one of the largest like ad providers. And so for one of the largest ad providers to also be one of the largest ad blockers, there's got to be a conflict of interest somewhere
in there.
You know? And so that's what I'm waiting for. Again, they haven't said that they've got their own ad platform,
right,
or ad company. So for now, it's good guy Apple.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to watch how this unfolds. It's a new trend, I think, on how digital advertising is going to be consumed.
Yeah.
How people are. Is it the publishing companies now are going to be that way to get it out, or is it through buying access again through Google or through Apple?
Yeah. So like the article here says that it's expected to be $83 billion in 2017, like the digital advertising revenue, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge number.
It's a ridiculous number.
This is it. And I feel like everyone's running an ad blocker. At least I am.
Yeah.
Whenever I see ads, I'm like, oh, I'm not on my ad blocker.
What's an ad?
This is it. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of ads, this is an article that crept up in the Toronto Star, the Star.com. Big Pharma had a marketing scheme which has now been banned by the province of Ontario. Banned.
Wow.
It's being called a scheme. Like
Oh right.
It should be banned. So here's what happened. There's a software that is used by many Ontario doctors called TELUS. It's made by TELUS Health, and that software is what doctors who are writing prescriptions use to record their prescriptions that they're giving to patients, and allows them, if I got a prescription at the hospital, my doctor can see that. It's like one central location where my health records are being stored. So what was happening is the pharmaceutical companies started doing this voucher system where if the pharmaceutical company's brand was being used, then and there was a voucher that could be redeemed through the software to get a discount on the drugs. Now, we have some pretty stringent advertising protocol around drug advertising. I mean, most Canadians wouldn't know brand names of many drugs that they use, right? Many pharmaceuticals that they use. It's not like in the States where, we've got all the advertising in magazines and on TV and everywhere else. So it was this almost a scheme where oftentimes the doctors were writing prescriptions and didn't really realize that the vouchers were applied or not applied. And ultimately, patients were being given more expensive name brand drugs when they could have been getting cheaper generic brand drugs with the exact same ingredients. Yes? No? Are you with me?
Yeah.
So basically, it's the advertising vouchers are controlling the quality of healthcare that citizens are getting, right? And unbeknownst to the doctor in many cases, because it was an automatic opt-in to the voucher program, as well as unbeknownst to the person taking the medication.
It's like, here's this voucher for the drug that's $10 more than the drug you could have gotten.
Right. And insurance companies don't like it. Anybody who has any health insurance, they're trying to get pharmacists to fill, because oftentimes even a doctor will write the kind of name brand drug because that's all they know it by, as opposed to writing a prescription for the Latin medical name for the drug.
Yeah, right.
So then the pharmacist, as a patient, I go to get my prescription filled. The pharmacist should be saying, "Oh, Heather, by the way, did you know, this drug costs this much money, this drug costs that much money. They're the exact same thing. Which would you prefer?" Right?
Yeah.
Because the insurance company wants the pharmacist to always give the cheaper one.
Yeah.
But consumers don't really have a choice because there's this collusion going on that nobody really knows.
And I think, too, consumers who have insurance don't really care.
Right.
Right? They're just like, just give me the drug that the doctor said.
Yeah, if they're on an unlimited insurance plan,
This
right?
is it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a cap.
Yeah. And then the doctor doesn't realize that the system they're using and the vouchers that are coming out are really just a way to get an extra $10 on every prescription.
Exactly.
I see why it's a scheme.
Yeah.
I need my slightly larger glasses.
Yeah, no, that's it. And so the health minister was made aware of it and said Ontario patients must have confidence that prescribing decisions are not being influenced by marketing programs.
Yeah, right.
This is my health.
It blows my mind whenever people mess with like health. You know what I mean? Like we should not be scheming around the health of somebody.
Sure.
Like these are lives.
Yeah.
And I guess, sure, maybe it's just a little infection, or sure, it's, you know what I mean, a cough you can't get rid of or something like that. But still, this is like when we expect the most amount of confidence. Like we expect these people to do the right thing all the time.
Right. Yeah, and not be influenced
And
by...
not be, yeah.
So, I mean, fortunately, the health minister did step in and say that this practice has to stop, and now it's been put to an end. But, just another kind of sneaky way, if you will, that pharmaceutical companies were trying to get a little leg up on the other. So
Too much money for them.
Too much money. Is there such a thing? Moving on. So we were talking earlier about the whole Safari ad blocking thing, and that kind of came out of the Apple Keynote that happened a few weeks back. One other really interesting announcement that came out of that same keynote was the augmented reality addition to the new iPhone that is hitting shelves.
And to be clear, this isn't virtual reality. You're not putting something
glasses on your head.
Yeah, and disappearing into a different world. This is augmenting the current reality.
Right. So most people would be able to compare it to Pokemon Go, right? Yeah. Where you're in a park and all of a sudden there's a cartoon Pokemon in the park with you. So that's our augmented reality. So now the question comes, we've got this new tool available to us. How are we going to be able to use that tool to get our products and services, our businesses, our brands in front of customers? So Adweek's talking about some of those things that they can do. One that seems to have been around for a while is furniture shopping. People often will reference this, where you pick up your latest and greatest shiny catalog and you can hold your phone up and see that drawn couch in your own living room to see how it would fit in the space, right? I don't even know. So it's like you're looking at the product through your phone's camera and have all the information that you need.
Yeah. So
there.
basically, like the cover of the catalog acts as like an anchor,
Mm-hmm.
and you can like set the catalog on the floor, and when the camera recognizes the cover, and in the app, they'll have an app that goes along with it. You can choose what item of furniture you want, or you can like scan it out of the catalog and then set the catalog on the floor. It'll like place it above the catalog. It's nuts if you've ever seen it work. And it's amazing if you like rotate the catalog, the furniture rotate, like the furniture that's virtually there rotates. If you like lift the catalog up, it looks like you're lifting a couch or a table or it's amazing how well that actually does work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It also references if you're wandering around a new city on vacation, you can unlock stories behind your current location by simply casting a glance in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think about like from a tourist perspective, great. But if I'm a business, what's my business that I'm going to leverage that? Right. Like what if I'm wandering around a museum? That would be kind of cool. If I'm wandering around, what's my business that would apply to?
The way I see that working is if someone's got the augmented reality going and they're outside your restaurant, maybe giving them the menu that they can read on their phone or giving them additional information about your establishment is how that might work. And so this is augmented reality, not so much in that there's like a 3D model appearing, but in this is your location. I'm going to give you more information about your location.
Right, if it's a historic building or something cool
or
like that.
You point it at the restaurant and the menu comes up. You get to look at the rest. You point it at the next restaurant. You see their menu. Oh, let's go to this place. Like it's an opportunity to reach out to your potential customers before they come in.
Right. We could put a virtual something right in front of them too. It could be like a concierge kind of person standing outside saying, "Come on in."
I've always thought
that
this would be good for real estate.
Right.
You know what I mean? You roll up to a house that's for sale, and then you point your phone at the house, and then suddenly the real estate agent is giving you a tour.
Right.
Yeah.
So that actually does suggest it, like where you can see real-time availability, pricing, floor plans, that kind of stuff for sure.
The other one I love is reviews in store.
Right. Go for it.
So you're standing right in front of a product and you point your phone at it and then it starts to give you reviews of other people who have bought that product.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I already do that. I already search the product online.
Right. You're already standing there.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Feed you all the information that you want. And of course, communication, right? So being able to communicate to your customer service rep or brand in a different way would be cool. So one thing I want to point out, all these things use data. And I know I sound like a broken record because I already talked about data, but it's so expensive and I don't want to go over my plan.
Yep.
But this stuff is going to draw data.
Yep.
So if you are that restaurant and you have your menu and you think that somebody's standing on the corner using your menu, you gosh darn better have Wi-Fi on the corner too to be able to put that out, right?
But the business could, right? Like I know that Walmarts in this area have data in the store.
Sure.
Like Wi-Fi in the store. I mean.
Sure.
And so as a restaurant, as a bar, even as a retail store, providing Wi-Fi to your clients, I think is a smart move.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
For these things.
For these things, it's almost a necessary move in order for them to be able to maximize it. And ultimately, this piece talks about it a little bit, that if you want to get a head start on the competition, you just need to play with it and try it.
Just have fun.
Yeah, have fun with it. See, try and break the technology. That's kind of my mantra. I'm not a geek. I really suck at building things, but I love pushing the boundaries. I love breaking them and finding out ways to play with it and learn from that.
And if this is something, I guess, you're a small business or you're a medium-sized business and you're wondering how you could use this or how you could even start to implement this, start reaching out to the agencies in your area. Like someone's going to have expertise and be able to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool technology. It'll be interesting to see in the coming year how businesses are playing with it. I mean, you can rest assured the big brands are already out there playing with it in a big way. They just haven't come out with it because the technology hasn't been there to support it.
Coke had the play a can or play a bottle thing where you could point your phone at the can or whatever, and each can had like a different song
Right.
that would play.
Right. And I know IKEA did something with their catalog some time ago.
Yeah. Canadian Tire has had like an augmented catalog for a while now. So it does exist. The bigger brands, though, they're not there either. So it is an opportunity.
It's fair game, right? It truly is to try and just don't worry about putting the best thing out there when it comes to this technology, because nobody has any expectation right now. It's a clean slate.
Yeah.
Speaking of clean slate, I think we're done for the day.
Oh.
What?
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Facebook,
The Marketing Podcast.
The Marketing Podcast, and Twitter,
Marketing Pod.
_.
Mm-hmm.
And please, if you like what you're hearing, let us know. Tell us what you want.
Yeah. Let us know anyway. Carrier pigeon, AR. Anyway.
A carrier pigeon using AR.
Send a text message.
Yeah.
No, that's probably not possible. Who does that anymore?
Text message.
Yeah, but whatever it is, no data. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you next time.